Only a quarter of an inch. It's gonna be dope. Yeah, don't get it on the machine on the.
Well, I think that the combination of the private sector working with the public sector, and especially the Little Havana Kiwanis group that puts on CALLE OCHO is so important and so significant. The mayor gave me the Parks and Recreation as a committee, and I think it's going to be the fun part of working as a commissioner. I'm going to really enjoy it. Thank you.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. This is obviously an important effort, cooperation between the public and private sector, and especially in an area where we need help so much, which is A.D. Barnes Park and its commitment to helping the handicapped kids. The Kiwanis wanted to do something special, and they've really done something special here by providing a park that will be accessible to the handicapped kids. As a matter of fact, the handicapped kids even contributed in their ideas of what it should look like. So we've got quite an effort here.
To be honest with you, we have a
Never know when you gotta get. It's gonna be.
Go on through.
Go, go. Dale, entra ahí. Entra. Go. Chichi. Ajá. Dale, llámalo.
Gordito.
So beautiful. Thanks to all the volunteers and everybody have been down here helping out for the past 4 days. I want to call right next to me the 3 guys that are responsible directly that this happened. Mr. Manny Gonzalez. Mr. Jose Martin. You hear me?
Because I'm not talking, that's it. Good afternoon, everybody. Mary, why don't you come up here, Mary Collins, Richard Collins, one of our newest commissioners, is here for Mary Collins. This is obviously an exciting day for all of us. All of you who have worked so hard to put this whole thing together, Carlos and everybody else who has worked so hard to make this a reality, people from the Parks Department, people from all over this community, that I think show once again that volunteerism is not dead, that this community really does care. And as many of you know, some 150 years ago, a Frenchman by the name of de Tocqueville came to this country, He looked around and he said the most amazing thing that distinguishes Americans from anybody else is the way they volunteer. The way they pitch in without any sort of compensation, without any concern about how or something might be in it for them, and how they pitch in and make their communities a better place. It was clear in Dade County that that volunteerism, that sense of spirit and pride is truly alive and well. In events like the Orange Bowl, in events like CALLE Ocho, in events like it all over this community that seem to constantly be springing up, in events like Chuck Pezzle Tot Lot here that we have here today. Chuck's with us today too. This is an amazing thing. I was out here yesterday and it looked like an anthill. People all over the place working, and amazingly nobody got in each other's way. I don't think we had any injuries, did we? No calls for fire rescue or anything? That's pretty amazing. Close. A couple of close ones. All right. Anyway, if I'm going to do this, Mayor Clark asked me to stand in for him today. And I'm going to read this briefly. It's very short. But just because it's short doesn't mean it doesn't have great meaning, because it does. And it says, whereas the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana, the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana Foundation, and Ronald McDonald Children's Charities have given the children of our community a new and beautiful, safe place to play. And whereas the playground is designed to be fully accessible and enjoyable for all children, both with and without disabilities. And whereas the playground is the largest in the Metro-Dade County Park System. Whereas the construction of the playground has brought together volunteers from throughout the community, uniting us in enhancing the quality of life of our children and grandchildren. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Stephen P. Clark, and the entire County Commission do hereby proclaim today, Sunday, October 28, 1990, as Kiwanis Club of Little Havana, Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Playground Day. Please, give yourself a hand. Today, Mr. Carlos and all the volunteers, and Ronald here also, I want to express my personal thanks also to the people from the Parks Department, people who pitched in their time. There's a list that's way too long to possibly go through here today. I probably could go through the list of everybody's names here. But God bless you all for doing it, and thanks to the children who enjoy it. Thank you, Kyle.
Don't go away. The mayor chose me to head the Parks and Recreation Department as the committee chairman, and I didn't realize it was going to be this much fun and this gratifying. I think this is a prototype for parks all over the country, and I think Dade County and the Kiwanis Club have shown a great deal of sensitivity to recognize that handicapped children need fun too. And at this time, I'd like to present you with a commendation to the Kiwanis Club. Whereas the Board of Metropolitan Dade County Commissioners wish to recognize the great service rendered on behalf of this community by the Kiwanis Club of Little Havana, and whereas this outstanding organization has played a vital role in making possible the construction of a playground for disabled children at A.D. Barnes Park, with the active support of broad sectors of the community, and whereas the playground, the largest in its kind in the southeastern United States, is designed to meet the highly specialized needs of disabled children, and was created with lots of love by a grassroots group of volunteers, and whereas this unique playground will be a special place where children with disabilities can play, make new friends, smile, and be happy, and whereas the nearly 2 million residents that I, as mayor of Metropolitan Dade County, Florida, to helping create a magical environment where children with disabilities can enjoy lots of fun and wholesome activities out there and solve themselves and even be soft mayors. Here for a great and we'd
love the hamburgers too.
Are you my second cousin? I thought with your red hair that.
Thank you both of you.
Just one other thing, Carlos. You invite me to another event. Are you going to work me this hard again?
You did work hard. Thank you for coming. I would like to call Billy and Sueta for Park and Recreation. Let me tell you all, Sylvia.
Every one of us, from the county manager silently supporting you, to the legislatures helping you at the state. It really takes everyone to make something like this happen. It's definitely everybody's part. And what is really, I think, critical is you don't create a wonderful department unless you have people dedicated, competent. You have a board of commissioners that supports you and really allows you every step of the way. I think you're seeing here some very tired but very happy faces. And I think essentially that's the name of the game. Trying to have the right mix of talent, dedication, commitment, hard work, the public and the private sector, to try to make the ends meet, make the money last you, make the dreams become a reality that you can walk and play and have a good time on. There are people here that have really gone out of their way, and I...
You ladies and gentlemen are the greatest. I've got two things I want to do up here today. First of all, I want to thank some people. I know once you start saying names, you may miss someone, but I've got to do that. And after I do that, I want to say something to all of you, okay, that I think is very, very important. Carlos, thank you for the leadership as president of this club and making this happen. Thank the volunteers, including FIU's athletic department, Miami-Dade Community College for their architectural design, you key club members and the outstanding leadership that you represent in the high schools across Dade County, the police department, the city of Miami Police will work side by side with you. We do it as a team. There's no one person. Willie Coutier and his staff, Charlie Sands and Paul Carey, Nick Olinger and crew. I'm going to give you an opportunity to cheer again, but not for me, but for yourselves. And I've been with you a long time, about 12 years, and I think some of the happiest moments and hours of my life have been spent working side by side with you. And when I think about all of you as members of the Little Havana Kiwanis Club, I think you're the spirit of what this community is all about. And when you enter 27th Avenue and Southwest 8th Street, 2, 3. That's it. Here we go.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Welcome aboard, Commissioner. Welcome aboard.
She's got the best.
Thank you. Appreciate your support.
Always glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
No. Yeah, well, why don't you have you people
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, let me go next door to my good friend here.
Come on up here, buddy.
Tall guy with the funny hair.
Okay, right. And in 5.
5,
No, I haven't
10.
asked him the question yet. What does this park, this dedication mean to you and to the Metro-Dade Parks and Recreation?
This is one of the greatest moments, not only to me, but this entire community, because it's a time that marks when a facility of a park has been made available to everyone, regardless of their physical disabilities, regardless of their age. It's for everyone. And it's a part of a great park named after our first director, Barnes Park. And we're just so happy to have worked side by side with the Little Havana Kiwanis Club to make this park for everyone happen.
Why do people like you do this? You know, why do you volunteer? Why do you make this?
Más cosas difíciles de ahora.
Okay, first thing, could you please tell me your first and last name and spell your last name? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're ready.
I don't have to go through the hard part, huh?
We're ready to go then, anytime. Okay.
Okay, look at me.
Okay, I am looking at you.
Okay, sorry. What do
You haven't asked me the questions yet.
Why do people like you do this for the community?
Well, I guess, you know, in every community you have to have a sense of, you know, helping your neighbor. And this especially is very nice because it's for a special type of kids that needed the place to, you know, to have recreation and to feel like regular kids. Okay? Okay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Do you like this playground?
Yes.
Did you work today to help make this playground possible?
Yes.
Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, okay.
Okay, Pedro, what do you think about this playground?
It's nice. It's very different of other playgrounds.
Did you work today hard to make this possible?
Yes.
What did you do?
What did you do?
Well, we had to saw, and some of the people had to put very hard things in this to make it look nice.
Okay, and do you think it'll be fun?
Yes.
And are you going to come a lot with your family?
Yes, very much.
What's your favorite part of the playground? What do you like about it? What's different?
The slides and the swings and all that. Especially the different swings that they have here.
Do you find a lot of what do the other kids have to say about it?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't talked to them yet?
No.
Oh, you're gonna, I guess I...
Jason's my boyfriend. What? Let the birthday go around. Do it, Gabby. Don't do it. I'm doing it. Jump up high. Nice. Marilyn, there's phone. Remember the phone that was there? Let's eat. Excuse me. We're on TV! Yeah! Look at me! Yeah! Hey! Look at me! Hello! Hi, dude! Hi! Hi, Jessie! Hi! Bye, Jessie! Hi, Daddy! Call me, Jessie!
What do you think of the park?
I love it! It's the best! I love it! It's the best! And I think it's fair. I think it's very nice.
Could you say that again?
We think it's the best and it's very nice. And it's fair to other people who are handicapped. Hey!
Thanks.
Marilyn, wanna come to Operation X?
5, 4,
fine here?
3, yeah, 2. Okay.
Okay, Patricia.
Wait, quiet guys, we need quiet to hear her.
Yeah, and you need to move out of the back there because...
4, 3, 2, okay.
Okay, Patricia, what do you think about this playground?
I like it because I like the swings and stuff and the monkey bars.
And what's your favorite thing of the whole playground?
Because there's lots of things to play with and stuff. And
What would you say to other kids here? Would you tell them, what would you say to other kids about the playground?
To go one day because it's kind of fun to go, and to go, it's fun to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to ask you, could you spell your name for the camera, please?
Terry and Pavon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anytime.
Okay. Okay, tell me about this park. What do you think about this park?
I think the park is fun and I like it, and the disabled are going to be very happy.
And what's your favorite part of the playground?
The swings in the back.
Why? Why do you like them?
Because it's more entertainment, and the other things are slides, and there's a lot of kids.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, Okay.
Brian, did you work today here in this park?
Yes, I actually did work. I drilled some holes in. I nailed some woods all around here. Yeah, I worked a little bit.
And what do you think about this playground?
I think the Kiwanis actually did a really good job on this. It came out good, and I think that they're going to enjoy this park.
And what's your favorite part of the whole park?
I think the park is actually all nice. I just like the whole thing, the whole park. Park is nice. Swings are good. You know, the disabled will enjoy it, and.
Sure they watch that, because it's very important. Now you see our paper towels here. Sometimes where we put these paper towels are very dangerous, because we may have the toaster. Today we have the clock under there, but sometimes you have the toaster. And if the toaster starts on fire, it could catch these paper towels on fire, which will catch the curtains, and we have a problem in the kitchen. We're going to have a kitchen fire. So it's very important. You look at these plugs. You see, you have one of these duplex plugs in there, and people have a tendency to put too many plugs in an outlet and overload the circuit, and we could have an electrical fire. That's how they start. So it's important, if you get at home and you look around, you make sure you don't have too many plugs in one socket. See, now here's our toaster, and it's on this side today. And if we had a fire in the toaster, which sometimes it sticks and you do have a fire, what's going to happen with these curtains? Okay, they're going to catch on fire, and it's going to burn real fast. And then we have the wall burning. So you have to watch for these things when you get home. Okay? Now under the sink, we have cleaning fluids and some poisons in there. And if you have little brothers and sisters, you have to make sure that they don't get into that stuff. Okay? Anything that's under the sink, these should be closed all the time. And nobody should be playing in there.
But I got a little brother.
Okay, you're going to have to... Okay, well, you have to watch out for him when he can. Okay, any questions in the kitchen here?
No.
All right. You're going to make your kitchen at home a little safer?
Yeah.
You're going to check for that stuff for me?
Yeah.
All right. Stop, drop, and roll, which is very, very important, because that is probably the most used out of all our stations, because we have a number of children that would get their clothes caught on fire, and then we have a unique problem. And as we all were at that age, we get afraid right away, we get scared, we start running. Running is the absolute worst thing anybody can do if they have their clothes on fire. So we have them go through there a couple times, and we have a display to show them that it gives the image their clothes are on fire, and imaginations in kids goes a long way, and I think they really perceive what we're trying to tell them. So when we teach them to stop, don't run, and then they fall to the ground and cover their face with their hands, and then they roll until that fire is out, and then they put cool water on afterwards. We don't teach them anything about taking water and putting fires out. We want them to put the fire out with stop, drop, and roll. Okay, now you see what this represents?
Yeah.
You see yourself in there?
Yeah.
Now this is fire on you. And you see the lights flashing up here?
Yeah.
That indicates fire. Your clothes are on fire. Do you know what to do now? What are you going to do?
Go wash them off.
No, you're not going to go wash them off. If you run, you know what's going to happen?
What?
It's going to make the fire worse. So what you have to do when you see fire on you like that, you have to take your hands and cover your face, and you have to stop, cover your face, and you roll on the ground, just like this. See that? Can you do that? Cover your face, that's it, and roll all the way to the end. Okay. Now when you get over here and you see yourself, you see what this is? That means water, right? If you get burned, you put water on your burn. You don't put anything else on, just cool water, and it'll make the hurting stop. All right? You got that figured out? Yeah. All right, now who's next? Who's next? Now you know what you're going to do? You've been watching carefully? So you figure you got it all right now, huh? What are you going to do if your clothes catch on fire? Tell me.
You're going to cover your face,
Yeah.
drop and roll.
Okay, stop, drop, and roll. It's very important you remember those 3 words. Stop, so you don't run. You have to stop. And you drop and you roll. So you stop now. Now you're going to drop and roll. Show me how you do it. There you go. Okay. And now you're right over here where you see yourself in this mirror. And you see the water. You put the water on the burn, right? And it'll make the hurt go away. I think the bedroom is probably the spot they really like, because they lay on the bed there and they pretend that the smoke is going to come into the house and it's going to set the smoke detector off, and they have their bedroom door there and they have their escape window. And each person lays on the bed and they pretend they're sleeping, which is a lot of fun. You know, we ask them if we don't hear any snoring, they're not really sleeping, and we really make a game out of it. And they are learning a lot more than they realize. And they are so concentrated on what we're telling them as far as having fun, they don't realize how much work they're doing. So we teach them to roll out of bed. You never stand up when there's a lot of smoke. So you roll out of bed, you crawl on the floor, and you go to your door, your bedroom door, which should be closed. And I know a lot of us don't, but it should be, to give you about 20 minutes of protection. And if the door is closed, you feel that door to make sure it is not hot. If that door is hot, you don't open it under any circumstances other than that's your last resort. So that we teach them, if the door is hot, we do not open it, we go out the window. And there we teach them to crawl to the window. They should know approximately where it is. Once they get out, which is with all people, to have one central meeting place when they do get out of the house. Because when we pull up with the pumper or the truck, our first question is, everybody out of there? And when they can say, yes, we're all here and we're all safe, that's what we want to hear. We can attack the fire and have very little damage to their home and property. The problem we have with kids, they get afraid right away, which is understandable. When we have a fire situation, everything is abnormal. There is nothing that you can relate to reality when we have a fire situation. It can be 12 noon with the sun shining. You cannot see the window from your position in a room. You cannot find your way out. There are many instances people get lost in one room and it's daylight. And we think, well, the smoke isn't all that terrible. The smoke is beyond belief what it can do to you. So we teach the children with very solid assurance not to hide. They're going to be safe if they don't hide. And we have a firefighter that puts on his gear to show what a firefighter looks like when he comes in to rescue these children. And children can relate to Star Wars and Darth Vader, and that's what we try and relate to. Because they look at him and he sounds like Darth Vader, he looks like Darth Vader, and he is going to be on his hands and knees when he comes through their home. So they're going to be eye-to-eye contact. If they are crawling out and he is crawling in to rescue them, they are going to be afraid when they see this thing coming at them, because it is a very abnormal situation for a child to begin with, and when you add the looks of a firefighter and all our turnout gear to protect us, we have a problem there, because they are going to hide on us. So we show them what we look like ahead of time. So when they see that, they know not to be afraid. And we teach them to tell their younger brothers and sisters at home, don't be afraid. It's only the firefighter. He's going to help us. Okay, this is Fireman Tom here, and he's going to show you his stuff that he wears when we go into a house fire. A lot of this is very important, and you'll get to see what it is. Now, these are his boots. And you can see his boots go from the floor to here, so it protects his feet against nails and heat and water, keeps them dry. And then he has his firefighting pants, which have extra pads here you see on the knees, because he's going to be crawling on his hands and knees in the fire just like you will if you have to get out. So now he puts his pants on, and that protects him from heat and fire. And they are not fireproof. They still burn, but it gives him a little extra protection.
What's that?
Now that's his Nomex hood, which is a fire-resistant material, and that keeps his hair in the back of his neck protected from the heat and the flames. Also, if embers fall down, pieces of wood that are burning, they won't burn his neck. And then he has his coat, which covers the rest of the open parts. So now from his toes right to the top of his head, he's pretty much protected. You can see his hands. He's got protection in his coat for his hands, and he has his gloves that will add protection. Now when we're in a fire, the smoke and gases, we can't breathe that. We need air to breathe. So we carry our own air in this bottle. Now he puts this bottle on, very heavy. He puts the bottle on, and the way we're doing it now is very slow to show you how we put it together. But when we have a fire call, we do this very fast. And we practice this and practice this to make sure that we can do it very fast. Now he puts his mask on. This allows him to breathe the air that's in the tank. It also gives him some face protection against the heat in the fire. So now he puts his mask on, then he takes his hood and he covers his head back over so that he has very few exposed body parts in the fire. Now he plugs this in.
He's gonna be really hot.
Yeah, he's going to be really hot in there. Now he has his helmet, which protects his head from anything that's falling down. If it's timbers or ceiling, whatever things are going to fall down, he's protected. He has a visor on his helmet, you can see, to protect his eyes when he doesn't have a mask on. When we're cutting holes in the roof or something like that, we use this visor to protect our eyes. Now he puts his gloves on, and you can see they're leather fire-resistant gloves, and they help him protect his hands.
My dog chews leather.
Now, how many have seen Star Wars? Has anybody here seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
You remember Darth Vader?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Darth Vader, doesn't he?
No.
And he kind of sounds like him. When you listen to him breathe, if you be real quiet, you can hear him breathe. Now that sounds like Darth Vader. So it's important that you don't be afraid of a firefighter if he comes in to help you. Because, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of confusion. But if you see a firefighter come in this way, you can't be afraid. You can't hide under the bed or in the closet because you're afraid. He's there to help you, and he's going to get you out of the trouble spot that you're in. Fire does not kill people. Smoke kills people, and that's what we're dealing with now. It is not the fire that does the damage to the people. Fire destroys physical, material things, but the lives of people are destroyed by smoke. And I believe it's only about 90% of the people that die in a house fire, 90% is smoke related, not fire related. So less than 10% of the people ever see flames that die in a house fire or any other kind of fire. Hence the invention of the smoke detector, which has been the most prominent invention in the fire service probably since the pump that pumps water to put the fire out. These smoke detectors can actually give anybody enough time to get out to save their life and the life of the people that they live in the same dwelling with. It's very important that they have to have a smoke detector. And a lot of the cities and states are making it mandatory, and I'm sure we're going to see more of it in the future, that every dwelling has to have a smoke detector. But a firefighter looks at it as the aspect of life safety. We are not concerned about the laws near as much as we are about the people that we're trying to save. And this is one way that we can allow those people enough time to get out no matter what their situation is. Even if they don't have an escape ladder out their window down to the ground, the smoke detectors will give them enough warning. They can use normal exits, and that's what we would like to see. We do not advocate using any of the other exits unless it's an emergency. So it's very important that you have to have a smoke detector. There are several kinds on the market. The most inexpensive is just as good as an expensive model, provided it has the UL label, which is probably universally recognized around the world, and those are the ones that we trust. So you don't have to have a fancy one, but you have to have at least one. And most dwellings, you should have one in every room. That's our ideal, is every room. And the smoke detector does do its job. We have statistics galore that show that it does work.
Imagine the beginning of time. Billions of years ago. There was almost nothing but water. Over time, the world changed. Except the water, which was still there. Throughout history, the same water. Well, almost the same. 4 billion-year-old water. Water moves in a circular pattern, from the Earth's surface to the air and clouds, and then, as rain or snow, back to Earth again. The water cycle is nature's boomerang. What drives this water cycle is the sun, as it causes water on the surface of a lake or a pond to evaporate into water vapor. This rising water vapor is held in the atmosphere until it cools down and joins other moisture to form clouds in a process called condensation. And when the moisture becomes heavy enough, it falls back to Earth as precipitation, seeping into the cracks of the Earth, soaking underneath the ground, forming groundwater. Some, returning to the surface water, begins the process all over again. This cycle began billions of years ago, and it's never stopped. It's the same water moving in a circular motion, always returning to Earth. So you can see that the water we have now is all we've ever had, and all we'll ever have. Let's look for a minute at the connections of our water. We saw how rain returns to form surface water, our lakes, streams, and oceans, and to form groundwater, as wells and springs. These are the sources that supply us with our drinking water. And once we've used water for washing, farming, recreation, it then becomes wastewater. So they're all linked to each other, really, in a kind of interrelated system. What affects one can affect all, and us. You can see this with the spread of pollution. Some people think that if they dump waste into rivers, that it just goes away, but it doesn't. It all comes back eventually. That's what that old saying means: we all live downstream. Our lakes, rivers, and streams do clean themselves, but it takes time. And with so many more people in an increasingly complex world, water's natural ability to clean itself can be overwhelmed, and the balance between people and nature becomes threatened. Our response to these dangers is to devise the best method yet known to clean our water efficiently: the wastewater treatment process. We begin by collecting the used water as wastewater travels down drains in homes, schools, industries, and the streets, entering a massive network of pipes, itself an incredible engineering accomplishment, our sewer system. In most areas, millions of gallons of wastewater enter the sewers each day. Once in the system, the used water begins a journey that will bring it back to nature. But first, it takes a major and essential detour to the wastewater treatment plant to be cleaned. This is our last defense against water pollution. A wastewater treatment plant is modeled precisely after nature. But what nature does so simply has taken everything we know about chemistry, biology, hygiene, engineering, hydraulics, and electronics. This vast complex of technology requires the expertise of thousands of professionals: chemists, engineers, lab technicians, wastewater operators, and supervisors. The people who make this minor miracle work. Once in the plant, wastewater travels through various stages of purification. Primary treatment, secondary treatment, and often even advanced treatment. Using the same basic physical, biological, and chemical processes as in a lake or stream. But let's look a little closer. In the first line of defense, primary treatment, the larger solid materials are removed by several physical or mechanical methods, such as screens and filters. As water is pumped through the system into skimming devices, they catch and remove particles after they settle to the bottom or float to the top. This same settling and floating action occurs naturally when a river or lake cleans itself. After primary treatment with its mechanical devices, secondary treatment begins, using biological methods, again learned from nature. You've seen how water in a river or stream flows over rocks or swirls around itself, creating foam. This is natural aeration. The water is mixing with air, and the air's oxygen feeds certain bacteria in the water, which help to remove pollutants. These aeration basins in secondary treatment simulate this very same process. In another secondary treatment method, we spray wastewater over a rock-like bed covered with a layer of biological slime, bacteria and fungi, which help to eat pollutants. Once again, we've taken our cue directly from nature. Of course, all during these treatment stages, the wastewater is constantly tested to make sure it's being cleaned properly. Once both primary and secondary treatment are completed, the water is ready to return to the rivers and lakes in many areas. But not all areas. Some local waters are more sensitive or have different chemical balances, so even more treatment is needed to remove pollutants. This is where advanced treatment comes in, using a combination of chemical, biological, and mechanical methods. Here, wastewater passes through more filters, granular materials like fine sand, coal, or gravel, nature's filters, sifting out particles that the primary and secondary treatments missed. Special chemicals may also be added to remove nutrients which may be harmful to fish and to the rivers and streams. And so, all the stages are now complete. What once entered the plant as polluted water is now in two separate forms: the cleaned wastewater, called effluent, and those solid and semi-solid substances we removed from the wastewater in primary, secondary, and advanced treatment. We call this sludge. This heavy sludge material gets its own treatment before it's released and reused. Special processes convert it into drier, mud-like material so it can be incinerated, put into landfills, used as fertilizers, or even as fuel. The cleaned wastewater, the effluent, is finally safe to be returned to the environment, to be discharged into local surface waters. Effluent can also be used for land irrigation and occasionally to replenish groundwater supplies. Remember those important links between surface water, groundwater, drinking water, and wastewater? Wastewater treatment is only one part of the overall water picture, but it's a vital part. Without treatment, allowing wastewater to build up and contaminate our lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater, our taps would run dry, our lifestyles would collapse, our health would be at risk, factories would grind to a halt, and much of our food would disappear. Our entire society would begin to unravel. Water is not just a matter of convenience or even of beauty. It's a matter of survival. More than ever before, we can protect our water as we protect our air, as we protect our wildlife. Clean, healthy, beautiful water, now and for our future. Water, all we've ever had, all we'll ever have.
Airborne over South Florida, and already we're in for some extremely heavy traffic. The 826, 836 interchange is moving at a snail's pace. Here along the Dixie Highway between Dayland and the Magic City is already literally a parking lot for 3 to 4 miles. I'm Al Abrera, Wings Airborne Captain.
Miami. They've called it the Magic City. Casablanca, USA. The city of the future. City on the move. And it's true, Miami is moving up and out into the future, with new buildings going up every month, new business coming in every day, new people moving in every minute. And how do they move around this city on the move? Metro Mover. Miami was the first major city in the United States to build a downtown people mover, and the first in the world to connect a people mover with a heavy rail and county-wide bus system. In early 1986, a totally automated Metro Mover connected to Dade's 21-mile-long state-of-the-art Metro rail system began service along a 1.9-mile loop through downtown Miami. Metro Mover links Miami's major office buildings, hotels, retail and government centers with 9 stations conveniently located every 2 blocks. Every 90 seconds, a Metro Mover arrives at a station. Every 10 minutes, it completes its circuit of the downtown area. This unique people mover system has already become an indispensable part of downtown Miami. Thousands of people ride Metro Mover every day. Metro Mover has literally restructured life in the downtown area. Major companies such as Southern Bell, Florida Power and Light, Southeast Bank, and Centrust have moved downtown. A major factor was how easy it is for employees to go to work on Metro Rail and Metro Mover. They work in the dynamic new office towers that are springing up all over town. They ride downtown on Metro Rail and catch Metro Mover to their offices. At lunch, they use Metro Mover to go to an interesting downtown restaurant, or take Metro Mover to Bayside, the exciting new shopping, dining, and entertainment complex right on Biscayne Bay. These days, people go places they wouldn't have gone before, because it's so easy to get there on Metro Mover. More than 8,000 students go to classes every day at the downtown campus of Miami-Dade Community College, the largest community college in the nation. A large number of them go on Metro Rail and Metro Mover. People who never went downtown before go there now because it's so easy to get there on Metro Rail and get around on Metro Mover. They go to the new Metro Dade Cultural Center to look at fine paintings and sculpture, or to check a book out of the new main library. They go to the new Miami Sports Arena to watch the Miami Heat heat up the pro basketball season, or to watch the circus, an ice show, a rodeo, or Julio. Just north of the arena, a $1.1 billion middle-income residential and commercial center is being built. They go to the Knight Center for business conventions and seminars, or to historic Gusman Cultural Center to hear great music played by great musicians. Soon they'll be able to go even farther on Metro Mover. The 2 remaining sections of Miami's downtown People Mover will link up the Brickell Business and Financial Center with its more than 15,000 office workers and nearly 4 million square feet of office space, and the hundreds of luxury hotel rooms and fine stores in the prestigious Omni area. Completion of the final 2 legs of the system will finally unify Miami's downtown and bring Metro Mover full circle. The future may also bring a light rail system link with Miami Beach, connecting the new Omni Metro Mover station with the Miami Beach Convention Center and the great hotels of America's playground. Metro Mover. It moved into the life of a city on the move and changed it forever. It's hard to remember what downtown Miami was like before Metro Mover. Not as exciting, not as prosperous, not as busy, not as much fun. Metro Mover, moving people, moving a great city into the future.
Metro Dade Transit gets you where you want to go. Use it.